And a disturbing story out of LA. A black man was found dead in the home of Edward Bernard Peter Buck, better known simply as Ed Buck, as you see his photo here. He's a well-known fundraiser who has donated over $153,000 to Democratic candidates and the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committees since 2008. Now, this isn't the first time that this has happened. 18 months ago, Gemmel Moore, a 26-year-old male escort, died at Buck's home after what authorities dubbed a, quote, accidental methamphetamine overdose. Now, in that case, Buck was not charged with any connection to Moore's death. However, Moore's family said that his journals document an experience of being given drugs at the hands of Mr. Buck. At the time, Jasmine Canick tweeted this: "If another young black gay man overdoses or worse, dies at Democratic donor Ed Buck's apartment, it's going to be the fault of the Sheriff's Department and LA District Attorney for not stopping him when they had the opportunity to." Now, in the latest death, the victim's name has yet to be released, and an official cause of death currently remains unknown. For more on this very strange case, we're being joined now by investigative journalist Ben Swann. Hey there, Ben. So, a wealthy LA Democrat donor, two dead men at his home in 2 years, drug paraphernalia, yet LA sheriffs are not investigating. What gives?
Yeah, it's a very strange story. I want to correct one thing you said, though. You mentioned about the amount of money he's given. Ed Buck has given, according to some sources, as much as $500,000 to Democratic donors, and that includes Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. He's given it to the mayor of Los Angeles. He's given it to the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. He's given it to Congressman Peter Schiff. He is very diverse in terms of the Democratic candidates, both nationally and locally, who he's given money to. Now, moving forward, 18 months ago, this young, as you mentioned, young black 26-year-old man found dead inside of Buck's apartment, and now, less than 18 months later, we have a second death. This time, it's a different man. The attorney for Buck claims that this second death is a longtime friend. So notice how they're trying to couch it. A longtime friend who had used drugs someplace else, came to the apartment, and then died there. So they're trying to separate these two because obviously the death of Moore, the 26-year-old escort who was found dead, was not a longtime friend. He was clearly someone who had a sexual relationship with Buck and also this drug use relationship with Buck.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think a lot of people watching this are going to think on the surface, this sounds like a local Los Angeles story. But the bigger picture here is that a wealthy campaign donor like Buck and wealthy campaign donors like him all across the country seem to skirt the law frequently, right?
Well, they really do. I think you could make the argument that's one of the reasons that someone becomes a wealthy campaign donor, because the more you give to campaigns, the more protected you become. Keep in mind, the small candidates that he's given money to, and I say small meaning smaller offices that they hold, you know, people running for state senate, people running for the district attorney in Los Angeles, many of them have actually given back the donations that they have received. The higher you get in terms of the candidates who have been given money, they either haven't given money back, have not been, they've claimed they have, in Peter Schiff's case, claimed he had given money back, but can give no record of when that money was returned or given to a separate organization called Project Trevor. And then Clinton and Obama won't even speak about it, won't even respond to the fact that he gave them money and what they've done with it. So you make a good point there. But the other thing to remember is this. If you look at the journal, and this is important, the journal that Moore, this 26-year-old male escort, had left behind, in his journal, he says that Ed Buck got him hooked on crystal meth, and that he hoped, this is what he wrote, he hoped that he would not die from this, but if he does, Ed Buck is the one who started him on it. Since that journal's come out, the Sheriff's Department says they're looking into this case, but nothing's happened, and now we have a second death. So I think you make a good point. I think there is a bigger issue here nationally of wealthy, powerful people who use other people and do not face consequences for it.
And, you know, Buck has been known to peruse the internet for vulnerable, young, gay, black men specifically. And activists right now, who at least 100 of them were outside of his house last night, activists are saying this particular case is not getting much airtime because of the marginalization of minority groups involved here. And in this case, it's gay black men. Do you think that's a fair characterization?
I think there's some truth to that, but I think it's wider than that. I think it's a media that doesn't want to talk about this issue at all because of who the donor is. If it were a conservative donor, I don't think they have any problem talking about the fact that these are young gay black men. On the other hand, I also think you have a situation where you have a lifestyle that they don't want to seem strange in any way, and so a lot of media will ignore it for that reason. But activists are making an important point, which is that you have a certain population here of young gay black men who really are regarded as or disregarded, I should say, by our media and by law enforcement in many ways. Now, the statistics will show a higher level of risk in their lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that those people don't have value and that they shouldn't be treated with the same regard as anybody else. And unfortunately, I don't think they are treated with the same regard.
All right, we'll have to leave it right there. Very strange, bizarre case. Thanks for sharing your insights with us today, Ben Swann.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.